All right. Welcome again to Balcony Talk with the Nelsons, the Love and Truth podcast where real, honest, and meaningful conversations thrive. I'm James Nelson, joined by my beautiful wife,
Lene,
and our vision is simple yet powerful.
to provide a safe space for couples to explore the depths of love and truth.
Here, guilt, condemnation, and anger have no place as we explore the intricacies of relationships with authenticity and respect.
Join us on this journey of connection, understanding, and genuine dialogue.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Let's talk about it.
It's time to talk. And, we're, excited to be here again. You're looking just as lovely as ever.
Thank
as
you.
always. Yeah, baby's doing it over there.
Thank you.
And so we're excited about this episode number 7, right? This is episode
Yes.
number 7 for the Love and Truth podcast. And listen, we're just trying to continue providing good conversation, dialogue. Again, balcony talk is what we call our metaphor for a safe space to have real conversations with couples. And so we're just trying to bring that to you and hopefully encourage other couples to create their own balcony talk, their own space where they can have real, honest, and meaningful conversations. And so
Yeah.
that's what we're here to do. That's our vision. But before we do that, we always do our customary just check in. So how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, but before I say that, I want to say you look like we're going on vacation, and I need to have that in my life. I love
Yeah,
it.
I'm setting the stage.
Yes, and well, I'm glad that you are, and I'm ready for it. So my week has been very exciting. It has been action packed all week. We obviously will talk about that in a minute, but we gained a new partnership, a sponsorship, and then for Global Leadership Solutions, which is our leadership company, you have another client,
Yes.
and that's a big deal. And so the most exciting part for me about
Yeah.
this week was the new client for Global Leadership Solutions. So
Yeah, that's
kudos
good.
to you.
Kudos. Yeah,
To us.
To us, right? And so I'm excited about that because I've said this before, but I'm just really passionate about leadership development, mentoring, coaching. And so when we launched the business Global Leadership Solutions, it was really to help small, mid-sized, and even larger corporations with developing their leaders to reach their full potential. And so that was an exciting part for this week. That came through relationship with you, so I'm excited about that. And then just everything else was going on, just us being consistent, you being consistent in our socials and driving the brand, this balcony talk, this Love and Truth podcast. So everything's been good. It's been a good week.
It's been a great
really,
week.
really
Yeah.
good week. So we want to pivot because we do want to. You mentioned it.
Yep.
So I do want to just kind of share that, we have this vision of where we want to, number one, we're big proponents of, collaborating and just really working with other Black-owned businesses. Certainly not limiting to that, but as we continue to elevate and continue to grow, we've got some relationships where we've been able to partner and collaborate.
Right.
And a new partnership or sponsorship is with Y0UNG Vodka. Really, if you haven't tried it, this is a really, really smooth vodka. Since they launched, we've been a fan.
We have bought not several, but many bottles.
Many bottles.
Because it is so smooth. I don't want to
No.
take the conversation hostage, but I like smooth liquor. Okay? My spirits need to be smooth.
Yeah.
This, y'all, it's made with sweet potatoes. If you are a vodka drinker, and even if you wanted to, I really think on ice, if you wanted to,
Yeah.
you can do that with this one on ice. And yes, a vodka. I don't do it like that, but you can.
And here's the other thing, like when I understood the history
Yes, let's talk
and the
about
story,
that.
we just celebrated Juneteenth, and G03 is an official, sponsor of Juneteenth festivals here in the Houston area. And so when I read and understood the history, I was even more a supporter, you know, because
Correct.
I like vodka too. But when I really read the history of it, and so the General Orders number 3 celebrates and pays homage to the historical moment when emancipation was finally realized for enslaved African Americans here in the state of Texas. So June 19th, 1865 was when the General Order came down to Galveston, Texas, to let those that were still enslaved here in Texas that you actually been free. And so just understanding the history and the story behind it, I just felt really passionate about being a supporter and always wanted to find a way to partner. So they're an official sponsor for the Balcony Talk, the 11 Truth podcast. And so we're excited about that. We'll talk about the other sponsor later, but just wanted to call that out. Go pick it up. I think they're in most of the stores. Definitely
Yeah,
Total
Total
Wines.
Wines, we know.
That's where we
And
go.
we'll put all of the information. It'll be listed for their website so that you can also order.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, if you do order online and you put in the code BT 2024, Balcony Talk 2024, you'll receive a discount on your order online. So all of that information will be included
Yes.
in the links. I'm sure there's going to be something flashing down low
Right now.
Right now, but you can definitely put in that BT 2024 to receive a discount on your order online. So appreciate it. That's it.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Ooh, so you've been on social media lately?
Yeah, I've been working. Still on that corporate grind, but yeah, you've been doing some things, or some things have been going on. So what's
Right.
been happening?
Well, so congratulations to us going viral
Yeah.
on a video. Something that you think that one is going to be that one, and some people are thinking something totally different. So now I don't know. Everything is just whatever. But there was a reel that we put out on Instagram. Go check it out if you hadn't seen it. But the reel was about us sitting down with our son, and he needed to contribute to the household some funds, $400.
Yeah.
I was talking and people ate me up. They were like, the dad should have been talking. Why is the wife talking? Oh, we got all kind of grief behind
Yeah.
this young adult paying or contributing to the household.
Right.
So what the objective was, can I talk about that really quick?
Go.
The objective of this reel was to let other families know you're not the only one. There are several people that are definitely going through this this space and time where your young adults are not just leaving the home, they're staying at home. And we wanted to convey holding our young adult accountable, because if you don't hold your young adults accountable, then what ends up happening is they go out and they repeat the same behavior.
Right.
Correct? So that's all we really wanted to push out, and that it's okay for your young adult to contribute, and it doesn't matter what those funds are going on. So
Right.
what do you think about that?
No, I as I started reading the comments and seeing what people, what their opinions were about it,
They
which
had
is cool.
some.
I mean, everybody had opinions about it. They say, well, 400 is, not enough, or too much, or, go move out, go you get your own spot. It was just a lot of feedback. Oh, this is poor parenting.
Yes.
Which I thought was kind of, strange. And so I just thought that, it's great conversation, which is why we did the video.
Right.
But here's the reality. So I started looking at this. There's so many kids that are moving, or adults that are moving back home to live with their parents for a variety of reasons, right? And never mind that kids today, if you look at, kind of factor in inflation and all of that, are making more, generally speaking, than their parents were back in the day.
Right.
And so I started looking at some of the data around financial support, and more than a third of young adults are actually living back home. Between 18 and 35 are still living with their parents,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Between
Yes.
18, a third of young adults between 18 and 34 are still living with their parents, right? So if that dude approaching you, at the bar and or wherever you are, and he's between that age range,
Asking, does he live at
one
home
in three of
first?
them might be living at home with their mom, with their parents or whatever.
And that's
So
okay as long as there's a
yeah, you might
plan.
want to
You know what I'm saying? They
check
saving
to
money.
see, and they're probably telling you that they taking care of their parents. That's why they're there. But you do your research.
Yeah.
But more than half of those said they were doing so between 18 and 24. Right. So again, you got to figure you're graduating college. I remember when I graduated college and moved back home, got my degree in marketing, and I'm interviewing, looking for jobs. I really couldn't find a job that I thought I should be, you know,
Considered
working,
for.
right, or to be considered for, with a degree in marketing, leadership skills, all of those things, right? I got rejected, door slammed constantly. And one of my best friends called me and they said, hey man, they're interviewing down at Greenway Plaza. This is way back in the day in Houston. At Greenway Plaza, I said, I got a job there. They're hiring on the spot. And so I go and I get up, go do the interviews. And one particular company, I think I just read a script. They said, hey, can you read this? And so I read it for the recruiter.
They need to know you know how to
Yeah,
enunciate.
so, and I could read. And so I got the job, right? First job. The key for me was that it was in the it was in an office,
Okay.
right? Because I just had this thing. I didn't want to work outside. I didn't want to work retail. I didn't want to
Bougie.
work fast food.
Okay, you
I
bougie.
needed to be in an office. I don't care what I was doing, but it had to be indoors. But I think I was making like $5.77 an hour.
Interesting.
It was a sales job, so I could make some bonuses every month, but I was making $5.77 an hour.
Yeah, that's
Now I'm still
interesting.
living with my mom, and I've got 3 other brothers, right? 2 younger, 1 older, and so we were all living with my mom in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Okay.
Now, mind you, I've been on my own. Now, albeit I was in a dorm room with my suite mate, but it got a little crowded
Yeah.
for me being at home.
Yeah.
And I helped my mom, contributed, did all of those
Did
things.
she ask you to?
No, she didn't ask. There were certain things that I just did.
But that's so interesting to me. And it's interesting to me because you have young adults now that do not think about anything about contributing to the household. It's
Yeah.
all about me, 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 me. And it's a very selfish spirit. They've been taught to do that because they
Right.
just, we've given to them and poured
Right.
into them. Where you were totally different. You're like, hey, I'm going to just give my mom something. She didn't have to ask.
No, whatever she needs.
I
And if
applaud
she
you
needs
for that.
something today, I mean, but that was me then. Now I did say, man, it's a little tight because my younger brothers were getting older.
Yeah.
I still got my older brother. I said, I got to move out. Now, mind you, I'm making $5.77 an hour and making some bonuses, right, monthly. But when I told my mom, I said, I got me an apartment. I'm about to move out. She was like, well, you're not moving out nowhere. You can get. I said, no, I got to go,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Because I just didn't want to be a burden on
Your
my
mom.
mom. She's got to still take care of my 2 younger brothers. My older brother's doing his thing, helping, doing, his part. But I didn't want to be an extra burden,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, when I was there, with whatever you need, I'm helping out. But yeah, I just, moved out. So I don't think there's anything wrong, but I think you have to understand that when you get to a certain age,
Right.
you got to be responsible.
And
And you can't just freeload.
Yeah, and I have like this question, and you guys go to the comment section and you tell me what you think about this. But I definitely don't think that there's anything wrong with you teaching your young adult it's okay to contribute to the household. If they want to catch a water bill and that's $40 a month. But I think that they need to be taught because if they get on their own, they will be paying their own bills. I mean, am I the only one that's thinking that that's okay? Because see, when I researched because people were were giving us grief saying only black people do this. Y'all, that is not true. When I did the research, data says for even the Japanese culture, they help provide for their parents. Now, it doesn't give context of if they're living with them, if they're not. It just says that they do.
Right.
And so what I believe is that as African American people, we've been misinformed about what that looks like. And if I don't think that there's anything wrong with, you taking a contribution from your child. And guess what? If they're contributing to the house, you do what you want to do with it. But we don't know everybody's household situation. And because we don't know the dynamics of the household, for them to, the parent can take the money and put it up, or guess what? If they need it, they need to do what they need to do with it. I don't know if one of the parents on disability, somebody could have lost a job. There's a plethora of things that we could say, but I don't think it's wrong for a young adult to pay or contribute to the home.
Yeah, another stat that I read, between 18 and 24, because you got to think about this in age groups, right? From 18 to 24, there isn't a real statistical difference in terms of kids living at home.
Right.
But it does say, and this was a CNN poll,
Okay,
that said that for Hispanics and black adults, 25 and older, they're more likely to live with their parents than whites or Asians.
okay.
More likely to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that 18 to 24, no big difference.
Right.
And so why is that? So part of that is, unemployment, job opportunities, situations are different. So if you think about a young black male and the opportunities that they may or may not have, and I'm not making any excuses, because I was a young black male. I wasn't making a whole lot, but I had a plan, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do and how I was going to get there.
Okay.
Right? So, but a lot of times it's not that they're even unhappy with the situation. I think what happens is that you're living at home, you don't have any accountability, no responsibility, and here's where the problem comes in.
Okay.
It's not even the money, right? Because I think someone made a comment about the parents were just keeping the money. Just to be clear, and there's a difference, right? Lower income or lower earners, it's high. There's a higher probability that the kids might be helping out in the household.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
If the parents, are making, a lower income.
What
right?
if they're not even making an income? Because some actually, you do have parents that were late bloomers and they had kids, and those parents are older, and then they have kids that are younger, and they're not making anything. They're living off of their possible retirement or whatever, Social Security. I think that a lot of young adults nowadays, they take that for granted, that maybe the house is paid off, and the parents, they seem like they have it, so you don't contribute anything. My question is, if you're living at home and you're not doing anything for either one of your parents, do you think that, or contributing to the household, do you think that's right? I just, in the comment section, drop something and say however you feel, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent.
Yeah.
But do you think that if you're young adults that are making money and they're not contributing anything to the household?
Here's my thing, like contributions, because where I was going to go with that was, if the parents are, lower, middle, or higher income, typically they're not looking for needing assistance from the kids. And so the whole point in the video and what we were making was that we didn't need the $400. Now, the average rent is over $2,000 a month.
It's much higher.
It's much higher, right? So you're living rent free.
Right.
And I was telling her the story about when I was growing up, dirty dishes in the sink was unacceptable. I don't know about you. And I grew up in South Park, Sunnyside, and those little critters come out at night when you leave stuff out on the counters in the stove or whatever. And I can tell you that there's been plenty of times that I said I was going to do it, and I fell asleep, and I got
You were
awakened in my sleep and slumber with a piece of leather because I did
didn't
not
handle your business.
handle the business. So there's other ways to contribute.
So you were taught accountability, because that's exactly what I hear.
Everybody's
Someone
got to
held
do
you
something. You
accountable.
got to hold your weight in some kind of way.
Okay, so wait a minute. So that is so good, because my thing is, even if you don't have the funds to be able to contribute to your household, you use your gifts and talents, your hands, okay? You can sweep, you can mop, you can do the dishes. Like, there is something you can do at the home to contribute if you don't have the finances. But a contribution needs to be made.
Right, because one of the things, and y'all go check out the video, but one of the things was about washing just one dish, washing just your dish
Baby.
in the sink, and there were 2 other glasses
And
in
you
the
just
sink,
wash
and you
your
just,
dishes.
You just wash yours.
We're speaking
And hold on, wait a
of
minute.
the young
And
adult.
then, yeah, young adult. And then so somebody commented and said, "Well, who left the other 2 dishes in there?" Right. So the point was
Not who left the
dishes in there. The point was, why didn't you just clean it up? You were in there, right? And let me, one more thing. Doing more. And the other thing is, I don't believe, like my wife would tell you, taking out trash is not a part of an expectation that I have. Like, you shouldn't have to. And we'll get into not sexism, but who does what, right? In terms of in a relationship.
Yeah.
Expectations.
Yeah.
I don't expect her to take out the trash. I don't expect her to make sure the car's maintenance, wash, clean. There's certain things that, from a genderism, I guess it is, that I wouldn't expect her to do, right? So we come home, and I see that the trash is full, and I've been at work, then that's a problem.
And this is
because you can just take the trash out.
And this is speaking of your young adult that is in the home, and because, again, if you don't have the money, that's something you can do. Doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, take the trash out.
Yeah.
Put the dishes in the dishwasher.
That's all.
Do something.
But there has to be a contribution. Has to be.
Yeah, because I'm not. You'll never freeload. Go ahead. Next.
No. That's okay. Actually, I don't have anything on my heart. I don't have anything. I'm like,
look, she can't read my writing. That's why she ain't got nothing on the card.
So
I wrote these.
So real talk.
My
husband writes like a pharmacist or a physician.
Listen,
I don't know. Here's
a question.
I don't know what you're saying.
I told you need to get up and write your own stuff down. But here was a question. Why do you think that parents, like we're Gen X, right? And then, of course, our parents. It seems like parents were able to manage more with less than the current generation.
Yes. Would you like for me to?
Yeah, expound on it. Why do you think that back then we were able to manage more with less?
Well, I'm one thing. There was not social media to influence the behaviors of others like it is now. I can tell you that, because I know that we use the terminology keeping up with the Joneses.
Right.
Back then, I get that. But if you didn't really see the Joneses, there was no need to keep up with the Joneses. So that wasn't for everybody. However, there was more stability back then for people raising families than there are now. I think, and I get it, because people can say a lot of things, but I really want to deal with solid families. Because some people are like, well, I didn't have that. But if you had a solid family, the mom and dad didn't make much, but they stretched it. They were not trying to keep up with anybody. They were in their communities where everybody's doing the same thing. Okay, fast forward to now, social media makes everybody believe that everybody's making 6 figures. Social media has created a lie for people to say, you know what, even for women, and just everybody walk with me. I can be making 30,000 as a woman, but I need you to make 100,000. And if you don't make that, and I believe that because of what I'm looking at on social media, that there are all these men that will provide for me, and I'm making less, but there's something that I need you to make. So I think that social media has a lot of influence going on with this particular topic. And so now I want to go on vacations. I don't want to give, money to this. I want to go on vacations. I need to take these pictures so I can throw them on the gram. I want to be able to look like this. Don't even have a car, but I need to have a Louis Vuitton. I need to have all the bags that I need to have a Birkin, and I don't have anything, but I need that because I need to show that I'm something that I'm not.
Yeah. I think it boils down to simply priorities.
That would be the correct
When
word.
when you think about where are your priorities, what's most important to you, right?
Yeah.
As a young adult, and we live in a microwave society where everybody wants it now. It doesn't matter what it costs. I want it right now. And going back to parents or kids
My card.
living with their parents, you living at home and you traveling, you doing vacay, you down in Jamaica, you're down in Costa Rica, you whatever trip that y'all on. But then when it comes to contributing anything to the household, you
You
don't
have a
have it.
problem.
There's an issue. I have an issue with that.
I have an
because
issue
your
with that.
priorities aren't straight. And part of it is that we kind of bred some of that because growing up, we wanted to give our kids better because we dealt with lack.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I didn't know it was lack until I started moving around and seeing other people, but I'm like, we had to wait. I mean, our stuff was on layaway, right? Sometimes Christmas didn't come until January.
Yeah.
And when income taxes came in, that's when you got your Christmas stuff. You may have got one or two items, but you had to wait for it. And there was no shame in like, yeah, it's getting out, yeah, our stuff in layaway. There's anticipation. I'm waiting on it.
Waiting on your stuff. Yeah.
And when it comes, there's excitement and gratitude and appreciation. Nobody wants to wait for anything. Nobody wants to build anything. Nobody wants to, contribute to the whole because selfish.
Yes,
So I
selfishness.
think it's
That's what
priorities.
it's based upon.
We need to step back and set the right priorities. And we've got to stop being selfish and just thinking it's about you and what you want. And I'm talking about young adults. And your parents have sacrificed. They have went in, they worked 20, 30 years. They've dealt with, the man or the woman at the office because they had children they needed to provide for. And so not contributing just a little bit to the household is selfish. Whether they need it or not, you should just do it.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is, if we did collect the 400, we're not going to go spend that. That's going to be put aside somewhere.
Right.
As a safety net, if it's needed.
If it's needed.
If it's needed. So I'm just saying.
Or as needed.
Or as needed. So just talking to young adults, come on, like adulting is real.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Life be lifing.
Yeah.
And your parents are trying to help you navigate that, but do not take them for granted because they're helping you.
Right.
Because we've talked about this too. Once you turn 25, I say 25 because
I say 25.
Because you could potentially be in college.
In college, yes.
You need time to transition. But after 25, your parents aren't responsible for your well-being and what you're doing. You need to be able to stand on your own.
So the insurance companies, they allow you to stay on until you, 25,
26.
26. So, that's that age right there where it's like, hey, it's time to grow up. And, I even believe this. Some of us as parents, we need to really push our children out of the nest. If they are capable of taking care of themselves, because some parents, we had people to say, my kids can live with me as long as they want to. I hear you. I don't think that that's always healthy.
Yeah, the one caveat I'll add to that is that preparing them to leave the nest.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
if, as a parent, you have not prepared them
Yeah.
to leave, then what do you expect them to do?
Yeah.
You haven't
Exactly.
prepared them.
Yeah.
You haven't taught them about savings, investing, financial literacy. You have not prepared them. You've basically perpetuated the same generational issues
Right.
that you've had,
Right.
and now your kids are out struggling because you have not prepared them. So, the one difference or caveat I'll say is that we, or parents, have to prepare their kids for the real world before you say, I'm just going to push you out. Because, we've heard that growing up in our culture. But when you turn 18, you got to get out of here.
Whether you're ready or not.
Whether you're ready or not.
And then that's on you. And can you imagine being 18 years old and, before that, because it starts before that, and your parents saying, well, you need to get your stuff together. Now, you've had no teachings
No
on
training.
what that looks like. So I don't know a picture of just being pushed out because my mom hadn't talked to me about credit. You haven't talked to me about a bank account. I've learned certain things at school, but as you know, they don't teach you what you really need to know.
Right.
They teach you the very basics.
If they teach you at all.
At all. So to be thinking when you're at 16, I got to hurry up and get my stuff together because I'm about to get pushed out.
Yeah. I got to go.
I got to go.
Right. So
Yeah.
I guess the moral of the story is that go check out the video. It was just a teachable moment.
That's
it was
all.
just really trying to teach that, hey, you got to be responsible and accountable, right? If you have bills, you need to make sure you take care of your necessities first before you go out and do the other things. So anyway, check out the video. And then so we're going to pause for just a quick second because we do want to talk about our other sponsors.
Yes.
So,
well, I'm going to let you talk about it, but Solomon and Brian, and as you guys see here, we have two different blends. I know we have a red blend, and then we have the green apple wine. And what I do know, okay, this is a Pinot Noir. That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
So Solomon and Brian are one of our sponsors, and we definitely want you guys, and I'm going to pass it to you, but we want you guys to go take a look at their website. They have several different blends, as my husband's going to talk to you about in just a second. But I can tell you this, if you are a red meat eater, you would love the red blend with your steak.
Yeah.
So, husband, take it over. And
no, I mean, you kind of touched on it. I mean, the Solomon and Brian, it's about relationship. This is, a locally, made wine right here in Houston, Texas, family-owned wine company, handcrafted. As you mentioned, several different blends. Check out their website, solomonbryant.com, to see what your fancy is, what you like. There's several blends that you can taste out there. You too can use the BT 2024 code to receive the discounts that they have going on right now. But each blend is fermented, oaks, racked, filtered, and bottled right here in West Columbia, Texas, the facility here. And the motto is choose to be excellent, make it a lifestyle. So Solomon and Bryant, check out the wines.
Yeah.
Another one of our sponsors here at Balcony Talk with the Nelsons, the Love and Truth podcast.
All right.
All right.
All
Cool.
right. Okay.
So let's pivot. We had another
Okay.
conversation we wanted to talk about. And this one, we're going to close it on this.
Yeah.
So we were looking at a video the other day, or a post or something, and they were talking about, the question was around body counts.
so sick of it. I'm so sick of hearing it.
Body counts, right? And by body counts, we mean
How many people have you slept with?
have you slept with? Yeah. How many people have you slept with, right? And so we wanted to have this conversation and want you guys to kind of give us your thoughts and your feedback on it, right? So the first thing was, should you ask, you get into a relationship, when should you ask, or should you ask, how many people have you actually been with, right? And then if so, when should you ask that question? in the beginning of a relationship?
So my disposition right now, I'm so sick of hearing about body counts.
But answer the question though. Should you or should you not? And we'll get into
If
why
it,
you
if
don't
it, okay,
like the
so
conversation.
if you just need to know, I think that you should ask the first day that you're sitting down with someone, because if the body count of a man asking a woman, what's your body count? And if my body count is too high, we need to go ahead and end this whole meal. What are we sitting talking
Okay,
about?
we'll get into all of that. But I'm asking, so you're saying the first time you go on a date with somebody, you should be asking about body count.
If that's important to you, because here's the thing. I keep hearing men on this frenzy about what's your body count? What's your body count? Let me. Can I?
We're gonna walk into that, but I want to
Okay.
get into let's establish some a foundation, right? Let's just
Uh-huh.
talk general, not about right or
Alrighty.
wrong. We'll get
Uh-huh.
into all of that. But the question is, I go on a date, you go on a date. The first date, you're talking a body count. We're talking within the first 30 days. Because on the first date, I'm not talking about, because I don't know if this is gonna go to a second date. So I'm not asking you about how many people you done slept with. And if you're asking me, as a man, if you ask me how many people have you been with, I'm thinking, okay, well,
Women don't normally ask this
uh,
question.
okay.
We don't normally ask. Well,
Are you
okay.
thinking it?
No, we're not. We're really just getting to know you. That's not what women are thinking. Well, how many people? Because we already know that most of the time, men more than likely have a high body count. So we're not concerned with that. But it's the hypocrisy for me.
But you keep
It
missing
is.
you
It's
keep
the
missing the
hypocrisy.
point.
What is the point? What's the point,
You're
husband?
trying to get into all of that right now, and I'm not even there yet. We'll get into all of that.
Okay.
I'm just to put all of that aside for a
Okay.
second.
Okay.
I'm saying just we're having a conversation, right?
Okay.
You meet somebody, and when is it appropriate to talk about your past sex history? That's all. Forget about the hypocrisy. Just generally speaking.
So for women, I'm sure that let's just say 30 days out that may come up.
Okay.
Because or let me say this, within, because we want to talk about, hey, what relationships have you been in? What was your last relationship? And then, we'll probably ask, well, how many relationships have you been in?
Right.
Right? Now, depending on your answer, then we may go further to ask, well, okay, well, seems like, you were getting around, you were for the streets. Okay, well, because we'll hear that in your answer.
Yeah.
But that's not what women are really tuned into. And this is why I have a problem with men being in tune with, well, what's your body count?
Okay. See, you keep jumping to that. And I guarantee you, most men are not thinking when they first meet somebody, how many people have you been with? That's not.
Well, obviously now it is, because we're having this conversation because it's a hot topic.
No.
And this is what men are talking about.
No, this is what people are talking about, not just men. So all I'm saying is that, and I'm saying this, I don't think men are asking because if I see you and I want to get with you.
But they are asking.
But listen, that's only after, we'll get into that. That's only after they're in a relationship, or after somebody may bring something up and say, well, shit, excuse me, she been with boom, 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 boom. Now it becomes an issue. But I guarantee you, that man is not thinking about, I see you, oh man, she like, I wonder how many people she done been with. No, he don't care about that.
Well, why is it coming up?
Okay,
What?
because
That's
you
what
keep
I want to
jumping to
know.
that.
Why is it coming
Because
up?
you know when it comes up? When people get in their feelings about it. When people get in their feelings and they start feeling somebody and they really care about them and they really vibing with them like that, it comes up then. Then it becomes a point. Or it comes up when, an issue arises in intimacy or whatever it is, and maybe the dude ain't performing. And then his only throwback, well, how been with? So I'm saying dudes don't care about the body count when you're first meeting. So statistics say that 30% of people believe that you should find that out in the first 30 days. We're talking about building a relationship.
Okay.
81% of people say that, hey, within the first 8 months, it's a conversation that you should have. So if we're getting to know each other and we're talking, we're trying to get, because we talked about this before, hey, what's your family history? You need to do your research. You need to find out what this person's family history and dynamic is like.
That's true.
Right? You need to look at
Versus a body count.
versus what we'll
Versus
get,
a body count.
we'll get to that. So okay, so since you want to jump to that,
I do.
okay, so since you want to jump to that, I'm gonna give you this. So I was reading this poll on CNN, and it said the average between 25 and 44, the average number of partners, body count, that men have is about 6.1, right?
And we're talking about when they did their statistics, they're talking about the world.
No, they're talking about people that have had sex, okay? So let's not get all into the all of that, right? I'm just saying this survey,
Okay.
they surveyed over 4,000 people that have had at least one partner, right?
Okay.
The average male between 25 and 44, they say that they've had 6.1, right?
Okay.
For women, same age group, 4.2. Now, this data came from the CDC.
I know they lying.
The Center of Disease Control.
All of them.
Well, if this is CDC, then clearly you're talking about diseases and people lying about how many people they've been with. But what is the J. Cole in his song? He said she effed about 4 or 5 brothers, so you got to multiply that by 3. So typically,
Okay.
men overstate their body count, how many people they've been with, and women understate the body count.
So men out here lying about how many women
Yes,
you've
a lot-
been with.
yes, a lot of dudes are lying.
And what we're saying is women are lying. We've been with more than what we're saying we have.
Yes, that's what
Boy,
the data
I tell
shows.
you,
But
the
it's
lies,
true.
The lies we tell. Because let me say this. I have to say that, like, this is so important to me. Like, when we said we were going to talk about this topic, we didn't talk about it too much because we like more freestyle. I'm so sick of hearing about a body count because what facts are, if you slept with 1,000 women, there are 1,000 women. Mm-hmm. You coming to me asking me and care about a body count when in fact what happens is if you, sir, have slept with 1,000 women, then I've slept with 1,000 of those people because whoever you slept with, I've slept with. So why is this all even important about men out here asking a woman about their body count? Because if I have slept with 50 people and you slept with 100, well, yeah, I'd have slept with 150 people because I slept with you and you had the most. So what are we talking about?
Well, technically, it's more than that, and you're assuming that
Okay.
every one of those was raw dog.
Does not matter. See, that's the other thing. The stipulations.
But listen, but
the
here's
hypocrisy.
Wait a minute, calm down. So technically, and I get when you're intimate and you're passing that around.
Strapped or not.
Strapped or not? No, it is. It
Let's
is.
talk.
Strap matters.
Let's talk about it though.
It matters because there's nothing being passed around.
Why do men try to skim over this conversation? Because you're asking a question to this woman. What is your body count? What is your body count? Because that's what you need to be concerned with. Because your body count becomes my body count, and then you shouldn't even be asking me anything because you had the most.
And honestly, I don't know too many dudes.
People want virgins around here and can't afford them. That's what I do know.
But here's the other interesting thing, right?
Okay.
Is that most people want somebody that's experienced, especially women. Don't no woman want no inexperienced man to be running up in here and he don't know what he's doing.
Has nothing to do with the amount of people that
does.
you've been
so
with.
So he's got to go out and practice.
You see what I'm talking about?
He's got to go practice.
The lies we tell.
He's got to go practice so that when he finally gets with the one, he knows what he's doing.
Men really y'all tell yourself these lies, and then this gets around, and then this is how it infiltrates the relationships. And you really think, because men around here thinking, oh, it's innate for men to want a lot of women and to be with a lot of women. Like, okay,
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just simply
that's
saying.
what y'all are saying.
No, that's what the studies have shown. Women want men that are more experienced. Yes or no?
Because you're
Yes or no?
Yes, but just because you're experienced, that has nothing to do with you sleeping with a lot of women. Because what men do is they say, this is normal. It is not normal. It's an abnormal behavior. It's never been normal. If it was normal, then whenever God made Adam and pulled the rib out, and it was Eve, it was one rib. It was just one. That was his blueprint. And now,
I mean, he had to protect his internal organs, so God can be pulling out multiple ribs.
God could do whatever God wanted to do.
How is
you
he gonna
see
pull
the
out?
limit?
How is he gonna pull
Okay.
out all this man's ribs?
You know what?
And his organs are exposed.
This is why I understand why God
he needed
did
to
what
pull
he
out
did.
one rib, fashion her, Adam.
This is why women can multitask.
I get it, but let's get back on topic. So
It is on
the
topic,
point
baby.
is that women don't want no inexperienced man, and men don't want no overly experienced woman. So there is a double standard.
Just because you've been with a lot of men doesn't mean that you're experienced at all.
But
and whatever that a lot is. And just because you've been with a lot of women doesn't mean you're experienced. Because just because you've been with people don't mean you still can do anything.
But
I'm
you're missing
sure
the
a
point.
lot
It
of
doesn't
people
matter.
have. Yeah, it's a point. It's a point. It's a point. I'm just saying for most women. I don't speak for all women. Doesn't mean you're experienced because you have a high body count.
Well, one would question if you really do, if you still don't know what you're doing. So the fact is, it does matter, because women don't want nobody that can't, So he's got to go get some experience. I'm not saying
This
over.
is crazy to me because
I'm not saying.
this is what y'all really believe.
So what? Now, first of all.
So why what?
So let me just say this.
I know, not you.
No, I ain't talking about me. I'm talking about them other cats out there.
Yeah.
But men do lie about.
I didn't say they don't.
They lie, and they put up a front, and they tell these women what they can do, and they get in there and they can't perform, and then the relationship pretty much ends. So, because honestly, you get with a dude, women, you get with a dude, and he cannot perform any of the functions. How long is that relationship going to last? And I'm not talking about no 78, 90-year-old dude that you with, and he got a policy and he about to go. I'm talking about you in a real vibrant relationship, and that is a problem.
Well, maybe not, because I'm talking about the same thing, but something a little different, baby. So women are out here checking off boxes now. Mm-hmm. Okay, because okay, let me tell you why I'm bringing this up. We saw a video, and I think I sent it to you. So let me say I saw it. I think I sent it to my husband. But these people have balloons, and the host asks a question, and there is a gentleman, and they are getting to know if they would like this particular gentleman. If it's a no, you pop your balloon.
Right.
This one
funny.
woman says, I don't want you. You check off all the boxes, but you make 75 to 95K a year. Mm-hmm. I'm bringing this up because of something that you just said. And you said, if he's not performing. Well, I'm hearing women say that they're settling for money versus performance. Now, it's very important to me that I like the romance and the passion that we have. That's important to me.
Right.
Okay? That's a box that must check off. If that wasn't checked off, how much money you make and everything else probably doesn't matter, because people have they've lost tune with what they really want.
Right.
over the desires and different desires. I got to have the money because I need to be able to look like this. I need you to have this type of job so that makes us, like our statue, we look a certain type of way. Women are on something different nowadays, and it kind of saddens me because they're now settling. And sex is very, very important. Your chemistry and connection is very important over everything else. But that's not what people are really thinking right now.
Well, because what they're thinking is, yeah, I can settle for this, but I'm gonna go do my thing anyway. You got a side
That's what it
thing.
is.
You got a side thing going on anyway. So I don't need that from you. What I need is this. And if you provide that, if you provide this for me, then I can go get that somewhere else. And therein lies the problem. So yeah, I'll settle.
I mean, it's truth.
Yeah, I know you got, listen, you got to be making the money. I need to be stable. You know, my foundation is good. I mean, your money's good, but you're weak in you know, in other areas.
Yeah.
Well, I got somebody for that. That's just what it is.
This is so horrible.
And so here's the other thing. I'm going to say this. The other thing is that, going back to the body count, and because you say men are asking this, and I know there's been talk about, you know, men asking about the body count. I also think it has a lot to do with that there's this shifting a role reversal when it comes to men and women. And truth be told, I see a bunch of women out here that are harder than a lot of these dudes out here. And so no
They have
wonder
to
that
be.
they didn't took the woman role now, concerned about who she done been with, because you know that you're not really living up to whatever it is that you think the expectation is.
Yeah.
And so women have become more assertive and in terms of what they want, what they need. I'm not knocking them for it. You just need a stronger man,
Yeah.
a strong man, not stronger, but a strong man to be able to deal with that.
Right.
And so a lot of these dudes out here, they're cool with taking that feminine role. And so women
They
over here
are.
racking up body counts is like, I just want to hit. Like, what?
Well,
You just want to,
Yeah, because they've
and kick
been
it like
taught.
Marcus and Boomerang.
But they've been taught, because here's the thing. You can only do something to a person for so long, and they're gonna
Hold
they're
on,
gonna
hold on. I
shift
gotta go
the
back to
switch.
Boomerang. So go back to Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
And the Boomerang when Robin Givens kind of played him like the whole. You go look at that movie, the whole role reversal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It all happens in the movie, and this is kind of what we're talking about.
It's called karma.
Yeah, you can call it karma, or just call it karma.
What you sow, you shall reap.
So you running through all the women, you know, and then you find someone that comes in and she's operating just like you, and you really into her, and now you can't really handle that.
Right.
Those are the dudes that are asking about who you done been with.
Oh, that's a very good point.
No, that's who's asking how many people you done been with.
But that's a very good point, because now you got an insecure man that has
Insecure
not
men
that has not
are asking.
yes. So babe, okay.
Okay.
Well, we back good then, because you know this
Oh, we gonna stay good.
this whole conversation it had my feathers ruffled for
Yeah, don't
one
get your
second.
feathers
You
ruffled.
know what I'm saying?
Because
So,
I mean, just I ain't knocking nobody, I ain't hating nobody or anything like that. But to be overly concerned about that, because the truth of the matter is, what you done before we got together ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm not concerned about
it really doesn't
in this regard now.
unless
Hold on, let me say this: unless you get in with somebody and you know they got a history and a track record, right?
Right.
And then you get into the industry and you see these same chicks moving around with multiple dudes, and now you're the last dude, and now you're trying to settle, but she got a track record. This is really where the body count is coming in. Well, how many rappers you done been with?
yeah.
How many entertainers have you been with?
Yeah.
Because I saw you over here. You know, what's that video? She was in this video, and then the
That
same
was
chick, Snoop, right? So that's who's having a conversation. Y'all are tossing and passing around women like, I even go the other way. Y'all passing around these men. Women are,
Yeah.
because the roles have kind of reversed.
Okay.
But if you're not secure and solid in who you are as a man, yeah, you're gonna be asking, well, who else you done been with, or well, what was they like, or did they do this, and then you asking all the wrong
And
questions.
that's all I'm saying, because I'm like, what are you talking about? Because this is true. Whether you have lied about your body count or not, all I'm saying is, men, if you have a high body count, once you sleep with your girl, whether you're strapped up or not, whatever body count you have is what she has plus hers. So there it is. And so what would we be talking about? Why would we ask these questions then?
And then here's, I mean, we're men. Sometimes we can be real dumb. I remember being in high school, and my boy, I'm not gonna, we were sitting down, and we were talking. Like honestly, this is dumb man stuff, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna say boy because we weren't even men then. We were just still in high school,
Okay.
talking about well who we done been with, and counting.
That's crazy.
This is
Because
the conversation.
Because that was somebody told
ego. That's
you
why
guys
dudes
that was
lie.
important.
This is why dudes lie about, "Oh, yeah, I was, no, you weren't." Now, one thing, I don't lie about that. But that's just how vain we were about what was important.
Okay.
And sadly, I mean, I won. No, I'm joking.
Men always find a way
Oh, the
sometimes
ego.
when everything is going good, and then they do
Just
something
say
to
something
mess
crazy.
it up, some dumb
Stuff.
Well, that's all I have. What about you?
No, that's it. I mean, good conversation. But
Uh-huh.
listen, here's the deal. Relationships, if you're getting serious about a relationship and you feel like this might be the one, this is what balcony talk is all about. Have the conversations. Find you a balcony, find you a sofa, find you, wherever your balcony is
Your
to
safe
create a
space.
safe space to talk about the things that you need to talk about so that you can move forward in a relationship. And remember what we said. No guilt, no condemnation, no anger. This is a safe space. So, brother, if you ask her about her body count, you can't get in your feelings when she give it to you. Ma'am, if you ask him about a body count, and it doesn't matter who it is, because it might be somebody that's within the circle that you didn't know about. You can't get mad about it. You ask. It may have been 5, 10, 15 years ago. It doesn't matter if you're really trying to move forward.
Correct.
That's all we're saying. Create a safe space where you can talk and build on a relationship. Set the foundation of truth,
That's it.
and then you'll build the love.
I agree.
Hey, this has been James and Lene of Balcony Talk with the Nelsons, the Love and Truth podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Maybe let them know where they can reach us.
Yeah, so it's going to come across the screen. We're on all platforms. You can definitely connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, all platforms. So we just look forward to giving you and creating great content for you guys.
All right? Peace.